The haunted school trip. It was a chilly winter evening in Delhi, and a group of students from Maple Valley School were thrilled about their long-awaited trip to Nainital. The bus was filled with laughter, songs, and excited chatter. Neha, a curious and observant girl, sat next to her best friend, Pooja. In the back seats, Rohan, the mischievous boy of the group, was busy cracking jokes. The journey was smooth until the bus entered the winding roads of the hills. The sun had set, and darkness surrounded them. The trees looked like shadows with stretched-out arms. The driver was cautious, keeping his eyes fixed on the road. Suddenly, he slammed the brakes, jolting everyone awake. A woman stood in the middle of the road, holding a baby wrapped in a dirty blanket. Her long hair covered half her face, and her voice trembled as she pleaded for help. "Please, I need a ride to the village up the hill. It's too dangerous for me and my baby to walk alone," she said. The teachers hesitated. They were unsure about letting a stranger board the bus late at night. But her helplessness convinced them. The driver allowed her to sit at the back. Neha watched the woman carefully. Something about her seemed unusual, but she couldn't explain why. As the journey resumed, the students tried to return to their fun, but the mood had shifted. The woman sat silently, her face turned away from everyone. Neha whispered to Pooja, "There's something strange about her." Pooja dismissed her, saying she was overthinking. Rohan, always looking for trouble, decided to peek at the baby. He gently lifted the corner of the blanket and froze in terror. The baby's face was decayed, with hollow eyes and worms crawling out of its cheeks. He screamed and fell back into his seat. Everyone turned to look, but by then, the woman had covered the baby's face again. "What happened, Rohan?" asked a teacher. He stammered, the baby. It's not normal." The woman smiled faintly and uncovered the baby's face. This time, it looked completely normal, a sleeping, innocent infant. The teacher scolded Rohan for causing a scene, but Neha felt a shiver run down her spine. After some time, the woman asked to be dropped off at a small clearing near the forest. She thanked them and got off the bus. As the bus drove away, Rohan noticed a toy fall from her bag. He picked it up and decided to keep it. Neha glanced out of the window and gasped. The woman was standing at the edge of the road, staring at the bus. Her head twisted unnaturally, and her eyes glowed red. Neha shouted, "Look," but when everyone turned, there was no one there. A few minutes later, the bus came to a sudden halt. The driver informed them that one of the tires had gone flat. The teachers decided they would stay at a nearby guest house for the night and continue the journey in the morning. At the guest house, the children were divided into groups. Neha, Pooja, and Rohan shared a room. Rohan couldn't stop playing with the strange toy he had picked up. It was an old, worn-out doll with buttons for eyes and a stitched smile. "Put that creepy thing away," Pooja said, annoyed. Rohan smirked and waved it in her face. Suddenly, the lights flickered. The girl screamed as the room plunged into darkness. When the lights came back, Rohan was gone. The girls searched everywhere but couldn't find him. Then, they heard his voice outside the window, calling, "Come here. I found something amazing." They looked out and saw him walking towards the forest, holding the doll. Panicking, they followed him into the woods. The forest was eerily quiet, with only the sound of their footsteps crunching on the leaves. Rohan's voice echoed, "Come closer. I'm over here." They reached a deep pit and found the doll lying at the edge. It was glowing faintly. When Neha picked it up, it spoke in Rohan's voice, "Help me. Get me out of here." The girls screamed and dropped the doll. Suddenly, they noticed an old, abandoned house nearby. Desperate, they knocked on the door. The same woman from the bus opened it. Her face was calm, but her eyes were cold. "What brings you here?" she asked in a chilling tone. Neha demanded, "Where is Rohan? What have you done to him?" The woman laughed, a deep, echoing sound that sent chills down their spines. She stepped aside, revealing her baby. The baby's face had transformed. It was now Rohan's face, but his eyes glowed red, and his mouth was sewn shut. The woman's appearance began to change. Her hair turned gray, her skin pale and wrinkled, and her nails sharp like claws. She was no longer human but a terrifying witch. The girls ran as fast as they could, but the witch followed, her laughter ringing through the forest. Pooja tripped and fell, and before Neha could help her, the witch grabbed her. Neha watched in horror as both Pooja and Rohan vanished into the darkness. Neha kept running until she reached the road, where she collapsed. The next morning, villagers found her unconscious. When she told them what happened, an old man explained, "That forest is cursed. Years ago, a mother and her child were killed by villagers who wanted their land. Since then, her spirit haunts the woods, seeking revenge." As Neha listened, she noticed the doll lying nearby. Its button eyes glowed faintly, and she heard it whisper, "We're still here."